Hello to everybody, I'm Alena Stoycheva, a channeler, clairvoyant, a researcher and an inventor. I'd like to present our Photon water converter device. It was designed together with my colleague Siyana Ryahovskaya. She is the founder of this project, a researcher and an inventor. This device specifically affects the structure of water and transformed it into a new information state using the emission of light, sound, vibration waves, as well as a graphic matrix. The workflow chart of this device, as well as knowledge about its impact on water, humans and the surrounding space, were obtained through channeling and clairvoyance. Water treated with this device helps bring a person to a new quality level of life, physically, emotionally and mentally. Water is the connecting thread between our bodies, physical and energetic. Our energy bodies have a structure similar to water, only in a different physical form. Water with its vibration affects the cells of the human hematopoietic system, leukocytes, platelets, erythrocytes. Blood cells, in turn, transmit the received vibration to the walls of the internal organs. The walls transmit to the cells change the vibration of their core, and so on. Thus, water changes the energy field of the entire body. The Photon water converter device is essentially modeled on the effect of energy fields on water during the Christian holiday Epiphany. The Earth and the solar system during these days are passing through certain energy information fields of the surrounding space, which enable to remove surface layers of information from the water, thereby facilitating, purifying, and harmonizing it. Such water is capable of storing the received information for a longer period of time. Epiphany water also cleanses the body, removes toxins and impurities, improves vision, eases the colds, promotes the regeneration of circular composition, rejuvenate. A person begins to understand very clearly what he wants and what he doesn't want. That is, if a person has previously endures and put up with what she or he has in their life, then after drinking water, the desire to change something increases. Epiphany water pushes you to change, improves blood supply, promotes to centering of energy flows, clarity of thought. A person begins to notice clues in the world around. Epiphany water enables to get an objective perception of reality. After bringing the water to the approximate state of Epiphany water, we move on to information coding. A graphic, translucent matrix was used for coding. It contains information on physical, emotional, and mental recovery. With the help of graphic matrices that I receive by connecting with the cosmic mind, I can introduce any program to encode a person's physical body, as well as influence their consciousness. For finer tuning, the device also takes into account cosmic cycles, the influence of which the planet Earth periodically gets. One of these cycles is the 11-year solar cycle, which is also called the Schwabe-Wolf cycle. Its energy diagram is displayed in a graphic matrix. Thanks to this, our device can very effectively influence not only the water being treated, but also the space inside and outside. Using this device, you can encode not only water, but also crystals, stones, and jewelry. The device is universal in use, since with the help of information matrices you can set programs not only for water, but also for people who are in the room next to the device and on the information fields of the room. You can achieve various effects by changing the graphic matrix to any other that will meet your goals. To prolong the time information superposed on water keeps its potential, we used torus fields in the device. Thus, information is encapsulated and less susceptible to dispersion in the environment. To trigger deeper changes in water and subsequently in the person who consumes this water, a transmission impulse is needed. The device impulse strength depends on correctly calculated radiation pattern of light waves and correct mathematical ratio of placed materials. In our device, we change water with the help of sound to make it easier to change a person's condition. During the period of embryonic development, a person always hears the overflow, humming, and murmuring of the internal fluids and organs of mom. Sound vibration affects the growth of embryonic cells. That is, the sound wave is native to us. And by storing information through sound, it will be easier for cells to assimilate it. We, as people, are open to sounds and are unable to protect ourselves from its influence on our body and consciousness. So, the effect of water after photon water converter device treatment on a person: increasing the vibrational composition of blood cells, improving the condition of the cell membrane, improved vision, restoration of broken DNA structure by helping the body replenish resources and regenerate it, boost of the immune response of the physical organism to surrounding irritants of the environment where it lives. Also, treated water helps a person mentally and energetically live in a new qualitative sense of him herself. Awareness, lucidity, clairvoyance, premonition, intuition are awoken. Remote, faster learning of new skills. I would like to emphasize that no chemical reagents were added to the water under study to enhance the glow. The initial composition of the water wasn't changed, and it didn't go under purification or cavitation. Mechanism of the device is the following. Drinkable water in a glass container is placed in the device. We turn on, and after 3.5 hours we can see changes in the structure of the water. To understand the effectiveness of the photonic water converter device, we conducted an experiment. The purpose of the experiment was to investigate the effect of the device on water using the GDV method. The research took place on two devices, a bio-well device with electrode to measure the aquatic environment and a GDV camera device with electrode to measure water drops. The objects of measurement were ordinary tap water, bottled water from a store, and the same bottled and tap water treated using the photon water converter device. Using the device, 3 types of water treatment were done. Treatment of bottled water for 3.5 hours and for 15 hours. Treatment of tap water for 9 hours. There are 5 samples in total. All water samples were measured in 2 ways: measuring a water drop, measurement of the aquatic environment. The experiment had 3 goals. Compare the glow of all water samples, compare the indicators of aquatic environment of all the samples, assess the stability of indicators of aquatic environment of treated water. Based on the data obtained, the following calculations and studies were made for all water samples. Visual comparison of water drops. Statistical comparison of water droplet glow indicators, area and intensity. Statistical comparison of glow indicators of aquatic environments, area and intensity. Assessment of the stability of the properties of the studied aquatic environments. Look at the photos of drops glowing of the water samples. The figure visually shows the difference in the glowing of all the studied water samples, and also how, as the time of treatment increases, water structure changes. It is interesting to compare tap and bottled water. Even visually, it is clear that the quality of bottled water is much better. And a separate interesting phenomenon is the development of the glow structure of a water drop, which is treated by the device. It can be seen that both bottled and tap water change the shape of the drop's glow under treatment. In our studies of drop samples, it is clear that the weakest results, both in terms of glow area and emission power, are the samples with tap water. And the best result is the sample with the maximum impact on water. When studying aquatic environments, the indicators of area and intensity of glow were also considered. The histograms show the minimum, maximum, and average values of all three calculated indicators of the data samples for each environment studied. The difference between the minimum and maximum values shows how much spread the data had in each sample. And the average value allows you to compare samples with each other for each indicator. Pay attention to the color notions. The longer treatment was, the more intense color it has. We study bottled water with no treatment, bottled water with 3.5-hour treatment, and 15-hour treatment, and also tap water with no treatment and 9-hour treatment. On the graphics, we can easily see that even tap water was deeply altered in its structure. The highest area of glow among average data samples we got from the bottled water with 15-hour treatment. Based on data obtained, we can make a conclusion that the longer treatment of bottled or tap water we have, the bigger area of glow we get. If we come to the glow intensity of our samples, we can easily notice that the longer treatment we had, the more intense the glow of both bottled and tap water was. We remember that while studying the glow of water drops, we get brighter and more structured results from bottled water in comparison to the tap water. The difference with drop measurements is possible because in this study, the intensity and area of glow are increasing with the length of treatment. And also, aquatic environments are not affected by the electromagnetic field of the device itself, because while taking measurements, the container with the sensor is located as the farthest possible distance from the device. And when measuring a drop, it is placed 1 millimeter from the surface of the electrode of the device, and during registration, it is directly affected by the field. And thus, changes in the drop's glow area also indicate the sample's response to electromagnetic fields. Another interesting point of the experiment is that the area and intensity of the glow of bottled water is almost the same as the glow of samples with minimal treatment to it and average treatment to tap water. And if there are no photos of the glow drops, one would have assumed that the changes in water were not significant. However, a photo of drops shows that the effect of the device on water is associated not only with its energy activation, but also with information changes, with changes in its structure. Water is a very sensitive medium that easily reacts to any influence. Therefore, not only the fact of impact on water is important, but also the sustainability of these changes. To assess the stability of the studied aquatic environment properties, we remeasured aquatic environments of all treated water samples in 3 hours and in 9 hours after the initial measurement. Stability assessment was carried out as follows. For each sample, the average values of the area and intensity indicators are calculated for all three series of measurements. The first measurement in 3 hours, measurement in 9 hours. After this, we calculate the percentage deviation of each subsequent measurement from the first one. The higher the percentage deviation, the less stable the sample is. According to this table, it can be seen that tap and bottled water, as well as a sample with minimal treatment, changed their parameters by almost 10% in 3 hours. This is not a crucial change in parameters, but still quite noticeable losses in the properties of water. And in 9 hours, bottled water and water with minimal treatment changed their properties even more significantly, while tap water practically did not change its properties compared to previous measurements. This suggests that both the bottled water and the minimally altered sample had some special properties that dissipated over time. But tap water did not have any special properties, and after minor changes probably associated with transfer to a new space to the territory of the laboratory, its properties remained stable because there were no additional impacts on it. A tap water sample with an average level of treatment did not change its properties in almost 3 hours. However, when measured in 9 hours, it shows that its properties have changed even more than the minimally treated sample. This indicates its good short-term stability. The most stable sample is the water with the maximum treatment impact. Its parameters remained almost unchanged for 9 hours. Therefore, research on this sample continued further. Its parameters changed by more than 15% only in 34 hours after treatment. We received information through the channeling that if tap water is first passed through a filter containing quartz, sand, coal, and calcite, then the quality of information absorption by the water and its energy component will significantly improve. Therefore, we are also considering the possibility of adapting the device's operation scheme with tap water. We also have an opportunity to upgrade the design of our device to influence on a bigger area of natural water resources. So we could improve the quality of water and help our Earth to generate and purify. In conclusion, the photon water converter device affects water for sure. It changes its properties and increases its level of energy activity. Different time of using the device will give different results. Considering that the indicators of treated water samples differ significantly in parameters, glow structure, and stability, it makes sense to continue research the effect of the treatment on water to choose the optimal mode. It may also be interesting to evaluate the degree of impact on different types of liquids, including both mineral waters and biological fluids, juice, diluted honey, milk. We are open to cooperation within the framework of this device, as well as to participation in development and research in other projects. We will be glad to hear from you. Wish you all the best!